Yeah. Alright, let's get it.
Feel like it shine. Feel like it dime. Fucking it, bitch. What? I swear she be lying. What? White on rice. Diamonds ice. Came through with the ice. I'm Lil Bo with the.
I've been fucking with Playboi Carti since he was on Alpha Records when Ethereal would produce the best beats for him. And that's why I can objectively say beats make this nigga. But that doesn't make him trash, that just makes him a rhythm rapper instead of like a lyrical artist. Cause an artist masters a combination of the melody, verses, delivery, and cadence. Not just one or two of those. I've been listening to samples of boom bap, raps, beat tapes, bangers, indie music, and still be back on the songs I heard growing up. Because songs take you back to how you were when you first heard it. So music to me are bookmarks, or the timestamps the ancient people made with stone for the stars. I'd hear a song from 7th grade back when GTA 5 was still new and be like, hey, this shit walking about home after school every day, .mp3. I hear dubstep and trap music and be like, that shit cringy, I went down the wrong memory lane, I'm gonna make that shit .mov because it's ignored like the dubstep era of my music history. God, listening to dubstep was so fucking cringy. I remember when I used to be waiting for the bass to drop. There'd be so many fucking memes with it now, I can't listen to it with a straight face. Dubstep's deadass like the mumble rap of EDM. Animals, Martin Garrix, I will still go back to that. I can still go back to that song and like it. Oh, here we go. Woo! Classic. You know, like when you listen to an old song and you get those goosebumps? Ooh. So I titled this My Love with Music because it's like the ideal relationship where you get to eat your cake and eat it too. You choose what you like while internalizing it as unconditional love. Most love is conditional, but not in like a pathological way, but just like the internal boundary line you have for all things. Damn, that also works for like the definition of morality at its foundations, honestly. Music is the white noise of a lot of people's lives, including me, so why not explore different types of it, because your current soundtrack may represent a now obsolete state of life that you overcame, yet you still subconsciously focus on that old energy. That's where you get that shit from where people say like music can control you or music's demonic, because music does have an influence on your consciousness, but it's not to that extent necessarily all the time. Unless you listen to Screamo. That shit worships the devil. I can't even say that shit though, because I listen to X. Rest in peace. I think it's funny how fast we switch up on music over time. Like, let's say entertainment that'll never lose replay value, because you can get tired of playing a game or tired of watching movies. But who gets tired of listening to music? If you don't put your fucking hand down, radio listener. What's that? I think a lot about my dog Shadow. Like, if he were to die, or more my perspective after it happens. I raised him since he was a puppy in the summer after 7th grade up until now, 5 years later, where I'm now finally out of high school. I'm not some animal lover archetype that loves their dog like how you see on TV and they making out with the dog like they on the fucking first date. But I do have a mutual connection with all animals, but that's broadened out now to all types of life. Like, I deadass, like, if there's ants or spiders or like a toad or something like that, if it's not directly bothering me, but it's still like in front of me, like where most people would kill it, I don't. It's weird. Not really. It's just mutual respect, I guess. Despite the physical body and the perceived layers of separation in the third dimension, we're all literally just conscious beings. One conscious being interacting with another. Two different frequencies in a room. That's all it is. Shadow to me is like how you'd see a sun. I grew up with him when I was in the sunken place, and when I got out of it and found out who I was, I can look back and see how much I changed, and since then, Shadow's changed too. It's like we formed the telepathic communication of a close friend, like we were raising our consciousness together. This is so weird, but like I was fearing that I would manifest it happening as I imagined it. Like if I turned around and Shadow stopped breathing, how would I handle that? And obviously, this is just one of those mental observations you have and think about. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it. Like, you know how you'll have certain thoughts and you feel like you're making the universe go a certain way? And so you're like, oh wait, hold up. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, or if I'm just alone in that, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Universe is too big for that shit. But the point of mentioning that is that really shows how the remnants of depression can leave a residue in the fifth dimension. I simultaneously worry about accidentally creating a certain reality like an uncontrollable energy force, yet use that same faculty consciously when I go about my day, and without talking about it when I dream, and experience clairvoyance in an alternate reality. And when you don't pay attention to it with this awareness, you tune back into a polarity perspective, seeing things from the mind frame of your fourth dimensional self or your third dimensional ego. But like just now when you're aware enough to see through your own problems, negativity pretty much fucking kicks rocks, because you aren't even tuned into that like vibration anymore. So I just call it peripheral awareness, because everything around the center of your awareness is ignored. That's the best way to explain my dreams, because they're not weird in itself, like if you're actually looking and viewing my dreams, but the way they're conveyed and the way I experience it and the way that it's not like well, yes, it's technically a lucid dream, but it's not a lucid dream where I'm completely able to control my entire environment. It's more, I'm aware of that, but I don't care because I'm living out an alternate reality. It's really weird. Not really though, not to me, but it's weird saying it out loud. If this is the first video you've seen of me, go on my first video where I explained what these consciousness levels are I'm talking about, so if you're confused like what the fuck I keep talking about, 3rd dimensional, 4th dimensional, 5th dimensional, 4th. But yeah, I'll link it right here. Like, trust me, watching that is going to make a lot more sense for the rest of this video, but you have to understand it. I realized people identify with the ego when growing up in middle school. I was always being told that I talk different, like I don't talk like a black person. And before the comments get wild, it's not even white people doing that. Black people would be telling me that. Speak like what, proper English? I said, it made me sarcastic, I swear. When shit bothers you, you internalize it. You'll try to act like it doesn't bother you, but you internalize that shit. So it manifested growing up into not speaking that much in school with people I didn't know. Because in the back of my head, I still perceived the natural way I express myself through words as not normal. That wasn't a problem as more people got to know me in 7th grade. And since then, because then I was told by people that they liked my voice. I'd be loud as hell, but they'd be like, you're loud, but your voice reverberates, and I like that. Shit, I was fine with hearing that. I ain't never stopped talking. Oh shit, I just thought of something. Alright, let me stop you right there, buddy. You know damn well you came up with that shit like 30 minutes ago. See? That's probably why your ass don't blink. Exposed! I shall continue. What if the reason for why every generation of kids gets smarter than their parents in every generation is because that's determined by what their parents taught to their children and in school. And in school, you experience this mass consciousness on a smaller scale, young enough to critically think about yourself and what you believe in, to the advantage of developing maneuvering skills for the society you're going to grow up in. And the test of question is whether you're going to express how you are despite the fear of judgment, or are you going to drip feed portions of how you are to people, then spill the shadow aspects of yourself when you're most vulnerable because you thought the world wouldn't understand you. Because when you're being creative, you're being yourself as a conscious being. You aren't overthinking, you aren't worried about others in the immediate awareness. It's the me right now. All art comes from that place of being how you are, not showing how you want to be seen. You become who you want to be by realizing the you right now and deciding whether that's a rough draft for what's to come or if it's the finished sculpture. I like to see it as the first one because life's more fun when you're aware of the process of growing instead of convincing yourself that you right now is all there is. Like you never acknowledge the struggles you overcame to beat that deception of chasing perfection. Damn, I should be a rapper. Oh wait.
Closed-minded, never looked at your soul. Got indigo juice from my crown to my toes. Open up your eyes and see that we have a throne. So stop victimizing and just go with the flow. Use your talents to just get what you want. And if you can't find it, nigga, Google yourself.
When she was 10, she sometimes fasted.
Most students who were around in school hadn't developed social awareness because of their upbringing or whatever. But the point is that those very children will be the people you deal with in life, but in different forms. Because not everyone focuses or cares about the emotional consequences certain words have. Because we all grow up being used to different things, right? So you can't put your focus or immediate awareness on how you think others see you. That's not important. That's why history right now at this point in space and time has society facing the adversity of moral confidence. The decision of, are you going to just subscribe only to what others say because the people nearby are saying it and it directly relates back to you, which is appealing to your emotions? Are you just going to subscribe to only your perception of what's black and white, appealing to your logic? Or you could just be aware of both sides and harden your conviction of right and wrong while also strengthening your understanding of the core of what other people mean when they say things. Because one side gets riled up for everything and the other side rationalizes everything. Your intuition or those thoughts you're scared to say out loud when you think the majority would disagree with you, that's the natural tool you can use to put yourself in the middle, to be in resonance. I don't even think doubt comes from worrying about what other people think. I think it's more the societal stigma of the thing that relates back to you. That makes you hesitate when it comes to expressing yourself. But you have to understand that done is better than perfect. Why do you think we call birth the cosmic lottery system? The reason why you exist is because you're done. When something's finished, you get to work on it and keep building on it. And that's obtaining perfection. Fuck chasing it. We got that bitch on a leash. That's why I love putting the songs I listen to on my videos and getting the hang of making these videos themselves. Like music artists, the people we love listening to in life are just having fun with what they decided to do. And that passionate projection of energy is what we vibrate to beyond and within the sound every time we feel the words and imagine a story as a song plays, or watching a movie, or playing a game. What you consume should not only represent you right now, but should motivate you to continue what you're already manifesting for the next present moment, which is what I call the future. Because when we don't know how the future will play out until the next present moment happens, which is why right now dictates how the future present will play out. The gift earned for your hard work, and that's another thing too, there's only certainty in right now, right? You're right here. In the past, you can look back at it, but you're kind of recreating a version of what actually happened in the past. You're not really observing it like how you'd play a movie, an old movie, or it'd be the exact same way, but it'd be interpreted differently. You're interpreting the past differently, but it's not even the same past. You can completely make up your fucking past if you want to. Same thing with the future. Your future, we fantasize. That's why we call it imagination. But you can also understand and predict your future because you're already going a certain direction right now. So if you're filling your life up with what you're doing right now to work towards what you want in the future, your future is going to be exactly what you want. But what's going to end up happening is that it's going to be better. It's going to hold the energy of what you want, but the specifics of what you're going to get in the future is going to end up being better, so long as you continue this path of doing what you're doing. This future like present will play out like the gift you earned for your hard work. Shit's lit. That energy is the key to the start of making a living in your passion. I made this channel to prove that, and this is just one example in my larger plans. YouTube ain't the end goal, it's a timestamp. Another reason why I put these songs in is because I can get SoundCloud artists in clout, because rap memes SoundCloud so much, but there's actually good people in there, and there's way more good people in there than you think. I mean, it's a platform like YouTube. So of course you're gonna have different styles and stuff. It's lit. You'll never run out of music or any art really. It's just like it's duality, where we'll never run out of people creating systems for how things should be done. It's two indiscriminating frequencies playing its part, and our free will allows us to tune into other mind frames, left or right, rational or creative thoughts. The only difference is that when you're younger, you don't see that pattern of life yet, and some never do, which is that's a tragedy. That's what being hell is. Hell is the present moment. Same thing with heaven. The only difference is that when you're younger and you don't see the pattern of life yet, and some never do, the people who never do, they're in hell. They're mentally and spiritually in hell. Which is why there comes a point to where you're able to observe both sides of duality as a spectator, which applies to everything in reality, if you think about it. Like you on a macro scale realize this when you grow up and see things from your parents' mind frame, and then when you start going to school, you see things from your friends' mind frame, and other kids around you. So when you get older, you get to see both sides and find your place as the individual. That's the purpose of the ego, or the left side of everything with consciousness. Observe the environment to internalize yourself in relation to it. And that's why you deal with so many assholes in life, because the ego and self both have duality. That's why they're dissonant until they're merged. So with the ego, people identify with their entire being with that one side of thinking. So that's the ego is what's created in your environment. That's your culture, your race, your group of friends, your family. All things created in one dimension, that being the third, the physical, the material. Instead of acknowledging the behavior is only one half of themselves, because they don't know. And technically you're expressing 1/4 of yourself. That's probably where we use about 10% of our brains at once shit comes from. That's mass consciousness right now. The 60% of us on Earth, because society created a system that shuts down every aspect that makes you human, because they need you to be a machine so that they can express their dissonant creativity in starting wars and accumulating government debt and advancing their political careers as these dominoes fall in order in the chaos. Since all those things mean nothing to the people at the top that created the damn system that's letting the shit slide. That's why I don't like politics, and why we have a lot of people who don't vote anymore. They have the same understanding. This is why this whole SJW movement and the trans community agenda and the normalization of pedophilia and sodomy is crazy, seeing this snowball in the present moment. Because it's specifically the Democratic Party, not we the people identifying with the left or right party, that's pushing all of this for a reason, which is to preserve the beast system or full savior complex that's controlled human consciousness for most of our recorded his story. And you control millions of people by making them solely identify with the ego, the mind frame of extreme separation through judgment and suspicion, which is a perverted form of our fight or flight response. That's why when I talk about religion or porn or celebrities or politics or the mainstream media and academia that's consumed, I'm looking at it from the spectator perspective in the fifth dimension, because I've realized how crazy shit going on now is the cause and effect of something harder to see for most people, or the mass consciousness, which is the literal battle for free will. One side of dissonance, the 1%, wants to control us through our environment. The very thing we use to understand our third dimensional reality. The world of the ego. And the 59% willingly enter in this beast system purely from not knowing. And because of that, they'll actually defend the structure their ego is simulated with and not adapted to. The reason I can talk about this stuff and still not only have peace of mind, but joke about what's going on at the same time, and breaking down how serious this is because this is a cycle. It's nature, meaning what's happening under the surface that these people don't want you to understand is that the 40% of conscious beings on this planet adapted to this bullshit. That's why right now we're in the age of Aquarius, the age of information. Because our advances in technology, thanks to the ego, the left side of the brain, created the internet. And just like water, shit's flowing in the right direction. Humanity has consciously been flowing down a river for about 12,000 years. And these people who want to stop this current have been building dams since fucking Babylon. When this false savior archetype was first worshipped by the ancient bloodlines that still exist today. And right now. And because these same people have been in power for so long, they've left the paper trail, and they've been slipping up recently. The dams are breaking down as a result of us refusing to be controlled, and so this river gets to flow back into the ocean like it did before. The ocean in this metaphor being source itself, the connection to who we are, free of self-imposed archetypes and a bearded old white man that was personified by narrowing the extent of how the universe can be understood. And despite these middlemen and manipulators being good or evil, I won't give a label to them because it's dismissive of their individual personal responsibility and their actions. We can't depend on them, and you shouldn't if you're really thinking for yourself. If you're using the ego to address things and not identify yourself as those things. So yeah, I just explained and connected the vibration of music to my dog, my channel, myself, and mass consciousness as a whole. That's why I say the way I talk makes no sense, but it always connects to everything else. It works out how I title these projects. I call them projects because I'm really seeing that it's just a fun thing to do. That's why I hadn't made videos in so long. It felt like I had an obligation to do things a certain way, and then that ended up killing my creativity, which killed my motivation for continuing. And that's why I call these little projects too, because you never know what to expect when you click a video, which is exactly how I am when you're talking to me in real life. I just see this as a platform, not a persona. More people should see it like that. Instead of talking in a circle, it's like talking as the circle, which ended up expanding the topic because awareness and structure is the nature of emotions. And that's humanity's connection with music. Also, I want to thank this YouTuber named Coach Red Pill because he made me realize how to center my focus on the core of what I wanted for this channel. My camera setup's actually directly pulled from that because of watching his videos, which I found out just a week ago. And he's great. So thanks for inspiring me to continue making videos, which I will be, so stay tuned because I've gotten so much support on Reddit, which is where I share my videos, so I love y'all too much to just be dipping on y'all like that, so I appreciate y'all. I really do. Let me know if you like this style of video. Also, I want to thank Trump Smokes 2K because he made me the song that you're listening to right now, and I couldn't express how cool it was that there are people like him who want to help out no matter the numbers on a screen on a website. How can I lose faith in humanity when we have people in the world like that without an ulterior motive or anything that takes time out of their wallet of life to make a track for my video and not even ask for a shout out? Like, thank you, bro. The reason I made this channel is because we're not the apes we've chosen to identify with. We're multidimensional beings. And I want people to internalize that and feel that and see that more. And to do that, we need to humanize the characteristics that we reject in ourselves and demonize in others. These videos are a bookmark to that societal change. I had a channel before this where I'd have the camera view, but I don't know, I kind of got self-conscious about it, and then I had like brain fog, so I couldn't even continue. So after like 10 videos, I had like a 9-month hiatus and just transformed it into what this is now. Oh yeah, that's a funny thing too, because like I have to actually like I guess breathe before I talk because I'm doing like live footage and I don't want to have so many cuts in the video. So I'm just getting used to that.